Okay, so today we're going to be looking at AVAX or Avalanche following a community request. We're looking in the daily time frame as the requester was looking for a long to mid-term hold. First thing that we can see looking on the daily chart is that we've got this kind of relatively flat upper trend line. We can just draw in there. And then looking back here, we can see that around the turn of the year, so early January, we got this big sort of run up. So we know that, like most of the large cap coins, AVAX has been following BTC, as obviously we saw very similar price movement from Bitcoin. So if we draw in this lower trend line from there, we can see again, just like BTC, that we saw a breakdown on the 6th, which took us out of this rising wedge formation that we were in. If we bring on the block party indicator, we can see that we also have support coming in down here. So let's draw in a second new lower trend line that we're forming just around there. And the first thing to kind of pull from this in terms of a potentially bullish scenario is that we look to be forming a double bottom here. So we've got these two tests of this lower support, both at trend lines. So potentially we're going to get a bounce here. And if we are to see a bounce, what we'd expect or hope for is to see a test of the upper trend line. Potentially a good play here, especially since we know that AVAX is following Bitcoin closely. And we know that Bitcoin's looking relatively bullish. Would be to perhaps take a short-term play up to the top or the bottom of this support here, so around 20.65. Although if you are looking for that longer term hold, what we'd want to see is a break of this upper trend line, and to see that we're going to want to see definitive volume. We want to see this 20 moving average cross the 50 moving average, and then both of these faster moving averages cross the 200 in order to really demonstrate that upward momentum for a longer, more definitive move or breakout. Another bit of sort of supporting bullish theory is down here on the cumulative volume. So we can see that we've got a trend line, very steep, which we've just broken, coinciding exactly with this touch of support, which is kind of bullish. We can see that each time that we've got down here on the volume delta, this has led to price breakups. So you see here, and hopefully from here. And whenever we've seen these trend line breaks on the cumulative delta, they've coincided with these sort of definitive and bullish moves up. In terms of the fundamentals, we know that back on the 6th of April, which is just around here, AVAX launched its Cortina upgrade, which is going to massively help development on the network. And we know that in terms of the kind of wider macro environment, we're seeing risk on assets attracting more investment, potentially with the rate pause upcoming from the Fed. For a bearish scenario, I think if we were to break down here and to break down on this support, I think that would invalidate the bullish breakout theory and give us a bearish scenario. It's also probably worth mentioning that this overall wedge that we seem to be tracking within is potentially potentially bearish, and again we could see a breakdown all the way down to the support here. But given the way that the wider market's setting up, I would imagine that we will need some kind of negative news story, some kind of real world event, or some kind of problem with regulation in order to see such a dramatic breakdown. Any questions, drop them down below, or any comments. Interesting to hear what your thoughts are. And if you want to see analysis like this of any coins that you're interested in, just let us know in the comments below. Thanks, bye.